Welcome back to my little film and TV channel, and we have a drama today, and it's, yeah, I think we always get a bit of trepidation with the BBC dramas, don't we? But we're getting the same sort of thing on all these other dramas, now ITV, Channel 5, Channel 4, whichever it is, and we've got an ITV drama we're going to have a look at today, which is, well, if I said it's split opinion, they're probably wrong. There's a lot of negativity, although overall the scores aren't looking too bad, but yeah, join me for this one. It is an interesting one. I am in the minority on this one, guys, what my thoughts were. But I think a lot of these dramas, it also, your frame of mind when you watch them, whether you're susceptible to what they're going to show you and whether you can enjoy them or not. And I think sometimes that has an effect on it, and it obviously affects people's opinions. Anyway, we'll talk about that. This is an ITV drama, 4 episodes, and it's called Our House. Please, if you are new to this channel, push that subscribe button. Push that bell notification. I try and inform as much as I can with other people's views as well as my own, and give you information on these TV dramas. I do film reviews as well, and of course information vlog stuff, what's out to buy, what's on at the cinema, stuff like that. So if you can join me on a regular basis, you're very welcome, and all your comments, of course, are very welcome. I'm trying to get about at least 10 to 15 thumbs ups for these as well. So, guys, if you can just do that for me, you'll make an old man very happy. Yes, Our House, 4 episodic. I watched it on the ITV hub, so I binge watched it. As you know, if you're a regular on here, or if you're not a regular, I do like to binge watch where possible. I hate waiting week by week. I just like to, and sometimes you have to, of course you do, but obviously I had the option of watching all this, and it's only 4 nights, isn't it? So it's not like waiting 4 weeks for the 4 episodes. So it's not that bad for over 4 nights. It's quite a good way to do it. But I did cheat. I did binge watch it. What's it about? Well, it's based on the best-selling novel by Louise Candlish of the same name. The plot centres on Fiona Lawson, who arrives back to her home in London to find strangers moving in and her belongings no longer there. So again, for episode 1, it's pushing the realms of possibility and silliness to the extremes. With respect to the drama, there's obviously a lot of dramatic license used in this. So at first, of course, she thinks her home was sold by accident. Well, you know, what normal person wouldn't? But upon discovering her husband Bram has gone missing, she soon realises there's much more going on. Of course, this stars Martin Constant in the lead male role, Bronna Woff, Celinda Schoonmaker, and Waruch Opia. My apologies there for that. And of course, the female lead in this is played by the wonderful Tuppence Middleton, wonderfully named as well, Tuppence Middleton, which I do quite like that name. With nothing, our usual critics, Rotten Tomatoes and obviously Metacritic, there's nothing on there at the moment because it's brand new, this, so there's not a lot. So I just go over to Internet Movie Database for their views on this series. And Joe Public, because that's what it's all about. Joe Public at the moment, 221. I mean, I think there's about 180 a couple of hours ago. I'm recording this as at the 10th of February at 3 p.m. UK time. 221 people have left a score or review. There's only about 12 reviews or something like that, but they are pretty negative. I found one good review. The rest were sort of really slagging this off. I'll give you a couple of the headlines in a moment. But of that 221, 115 gave it a score between 6 and 9. I've ignored the 10 out of 10s as I do, because I don't believe it. And of course, I ignore the 1 out of 10s just for balance. But sometimes the 1 out of 10s are certainly more believable than 10 out of 10s, but just for balance, I take those out as well. But 64 people scored it between 2 and 5 out of 10, so 179 there. So if we take 115 as a percentage of that, that leaves us with a 64% positivity. So I'm happy with that, and that's in line with the Internet Movie Database rating of 6.2. And as you know, or you don't know, if you're new, 6 out of 10 is my sort of basis for all this, for something to be at least watchable. It might not be brilliant, but at least watchable. It might not be memorable, but at least watchable. Some of the comments, as I said, I did promise you some of the headlines on some of the reviews. I did read through the reviews. They're not very pleasant, guys. Worse than a soap, said someone. What a letdown. Unbelievably bad. Ridiculous nonsense. Poor, so poor. Nice house, lame plot. predictable, slow and dull dross. So yeah, so what hope have we got? What hope can I give you? Well, as I said, I think at the outset of this, sometimes when I watch a drama, perhaps I'm tuned into it a little bit more than others, and I'm a bit fair. Not well, yeah, probably use the word fairer. I'm not going to say this is going to live long with the memory. Of course, it's not, but it is sort of watched. I watched the first episode. It sort of drags you in a little bit, a bit silly as you'd expect, but the silliness doesn't stop there. It carries on. But yeah, it's not, for me anyway, it's not, it's not as bad as those written reviews, which are, let's face it, are bad, aren't they? With a 6+ rating, there must be a lot of people who do like it, but I always worry about people just leaving the scores and not review, because you do tend to think that the film and crew of this might have, and the actors might have left reviews, just scores without having to write anything. So it's always a bit of a funny one, isn't it? I do appreciate the negativity. I fully understand the negativity. But this is, as I said, my frame of mind when I watch this, personally, I don't think it's as bad, given the circumstances, as most people are saying. Okay, I did see, of course I did. I've watched a lot of these things, as probably a lot of these people have. I saw most of the so-called twists. A mile off, I'll be absolutely straight with you. But the one or two that snuck through, they might have been silly. And obviously, if they're a silly thing, you might not really catch up on it anyway, but the one or two things did creep through, silly things, but it has to be quite simply turn your brain off, just go with the flow. 4-episode crime family drama, and that's what it is. You don't just try not to think too much about it. I mean, sometimes I just don't want to think too much about a film or a drama. I just want to watch it for what it is. The acting wise, Tuppence Middleton, as you probably know from my earlier comment, very watchable as ever. I enjoy watching Tuppence Middleton. And Compton, in a way, yeah, who normally plays let's be honest about it, I will use a 4-letter word. He usually plays a little shit in both a good and bad way in series. He's not a guy I particularly like as a character, there's characters he plays. I would say I have no idea what he's like personally as a guy. It's probably a really nice bloke, but yeah, the characters he plays, even if he's playing a good guy, I always think of him as a little pest, like little nuisance. So he's, as usual, in this on point. Although it is hard to believe, in all fairness, that the Tuppence and, of course, Tuppence Middleton and Compton would actually, in real life, be together. There's the sort of personalities in this TV program. You doubt they'd be able to get together in the first place anyway, because they just don't seem right for each other. But again, that's just how it is. And Rupert Penry Jones, of course, appears in it, and again, in a similar way, but he's not little. In a similar way to Compton, he's both unlikable and likable in the same sort of level, isn't he? He plays a good, horrible guy, and he plays a good, nice guy. And I say he's well worth the effort watching this as well. So overall, it is a fairly strong cast. I was quite impressed with the cast. Okay, these shows rely on normal people doing silly and stupid things. Of course you do. Some of these crime thrillers, unless someone doesn't report something or doesn't do something, without it, you wouldn't have a story, you wouldn't have a drama, you wouldn't have a film. So this is totally the case here. But at least one or two of the major plots in the thing are sort of excusable given the circumstances that these guys are finding themselves in. And you do think, so, yeah, perhaps I wouldn't have done that, or I would have done that. But generally, most people would perhaps do the right thing. And obviously, this is based on people doing the wrong thing. And a lot of the time, you could definitely drive a 4x4 through the various plot holes, and the dramatic license used, as I said before, is pushing sensibility and credibility just a little bit much. But for once, we have an ending. I like the ending. I liked episode 1. I didn't like everything in episode 2 and 3, in all fairness, but it was okay. And I liked episode 4. I thought it finished it off nicely. I mean, the thing is with some of these thrills, whether they're good or bad, they don't know how to end them. And I think this was quite a good ending. I'll give it all credit. And most people, I think some of those critics before who didn't like it, I bet they didn't even get to episode 2. They probably turned it off. So they certainly only got to episode 4 for the ending. And I just thought the ending didn't let the whole thing down. It just sort of tied it up in a nice little bow and finished it off, which is, as I said, it's not something the rest, a lot of these thrillers do. They seem to chicken out at the end and don't give us a proper ending. fudge it, don't they? They fudge it and ruin the ending. But this was fine for me. As I said, as long as I turned my brain off, I was absolutely quite fine with the ending. I thought it was okay. And yeah, a little twist, as I say. Whether it was a silly twist or not, possibly not. It was probably a realistic twist. It's not something I would have done, but hey, that's it. We're not all the same, are we? So, in conclusion, it won't live long in memory. Of course it won't. 4 episodes, yeah, about right. I mean, some people said even that was a little bit long and boring. I thought it was fine. The 4 episodes. Said it might have helped binge watching it. But it was nice to see they didn't try and stretch it to 6 or 8, which is sometimes what they do with this sort of... Because I'll tell you what, that plot we had, that could have easily been stretched to 6 to 8 episodes. So they were spot on with the 4 episodes. So well done for that. There we go. As I said, silly at times, but so what? Turn your brain off, put your feet up, cup of cocoa, a biscuit, cuddle up to your beloved if you've got one there. If you're not, just cuddle up with a nice quilt or something like that. And yeah, better as a binge watch, but it is what it is. And I'm going to give it a score. And yeah, I'm going to be higher. I'm going to be higher than Internet Movie Database, not like me. 6.5 out of 10. I'm going to give it a good, so it's watchable, but in a good way as well. So it's a good watchable drama series for me, without any bells and whistles. As I said, I could turn this off for 4 times 44 minutes and just go with the flow and accept the silliness, and yeah, be quite happy with the start. The middle was okay, and the ending, again, I was happy with that. So not much more we can say. Let me know what you think, guys. As I say, if you're in the majority and they couldn't stand it, well, the majority will have to review anyway. Just let me know. Say it's all opinions. We all have different views, and as I said, with things like this, sometimes it's how you're feeling as well when you watch these programs, whether you sort of enjoy them more or not. So I'll be great to hear from you anyway. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. What have we got to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on the Film and TV channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.